Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Zach and Ruckus Got Bored. Not Zach and Ruckus. Let's try that again.
Yep.
Welcome back, everybody, to a. Hold on.
You used my real name, man.
Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Ruckus and Luker Got Bored. I'm Luker,
And I'm Ruckus.
and we got
I
bored.
almost just said I was Zach. There we go. Deep lore drop, everyone.
Anyways, yeah, so. Ruckus,
Oh boy.
how about that boys? The boys.
Oddly anticlimactic, but still insane.
Yeah.
Is my headline.
So this season's been wildly divisive amongst the fan base, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I have my own problems with it. But overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It really, to the anticlimactic point, it felt more like it was just like this whole season was a precursor to next season. Like it was just a build up
Mm-hmm.
to the finale, which is a way to do it, I guess.
Yeah. But it's also kind of how Game of Thrones did everything, and that didn't pan out too well. But also, I think that everything is being handled better than Game of Thrones was, so I'm not worried about that.
I don't think we'll see any big budget things go that route because that was just received so horribly.
Mm-hmm.
So horribly.
I know that there are definitely going to be a couple shots coming up, probably in the first episode of next season, that are going to be insane based on what I know about the last couple issues of the comics. But yeah, the violence in this season was pretty amazing. I mean, it's always been intense, but this time, holy shit.
Yeah, that's I've seen a couple people comments on the gore being ramped up. I don't guess I really noticed that much.
Mhm.
Uh
I guess we should probably say spoilers.
oh yeah,
Um,
definitely spoilers.
yeah.
um definitely spoilers. Yeah, like I mean, Newman getting ripped open like she did, sure, but I mean, fuck, what was it like episode 3 when when Frenchie stuck that bomb up Translucent's ass
Mm-hmm.
and then Huey blew him up, like I don't know, it has been quite a while since I actually watched that. So,
I actually just watched it the other day. I've rewatched all of The Boys in the past couple of weeks. Yeah, that was still super gross, but nowhere near as bad because basically he turned into a chunky red mist.
okay.
Couldn't really be identified as a body, but when, Victoria gets ripped in half, you're watching a person just get ripped in half.
Okay. I can see that then, yeah.
hmm It's
Uh
just like when the deep punches through that guy's face, like you see the impact, it's not just their head disappears.
Speaking of that, man, that was one of my favorite scenes in this. Look, the dude that plays the deep, I
hmm
don't know if he's acting or if he's just a moron in real life, but man, he plays that particular type of person or that character in the show so well. Probably a lot of people hate that versus the comic books, but
I think that you have to be pretty smart to play that dumb, like successfully.
yeah, I can see
Because I
that.
mean, you could just stupid person makes jokes about stupid people. It's, oh, look at me, I'm rolling my poop into a ball. Hoo-wee. Like the deep is actually like so pathetic, and I think Chase Crawford, I think is his name.
Yeah, that sounds
He
right.
just embodies that so well. But then you see him in other interviews, like when he's hanging out with Andy Starr. It's like, oh no, he's a cool dude.
Yeah. A lot of that is also credit to the writers who don't get paid shit.
Very much, yes.
So that was like he's a very well. I mean, he's a villain. He's obviously not
hmm
a good character, but he's a well written character.
Yeah, and like every
In my
now and then
opinion.
you do see like glimpses of him, like maybe he's gonna try and do the right thing, but every time he tries to do the right thing, it makes everything so much worse. Like the dolphin.
Yeah. So on that note, then segue. What this was one thing that I got annoyed. Where the fuck was A Train? Like they just didn't reference him at all or anything in the final episode.
What happened to him at the end of Didn't he run away at the end of episode 7?
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought like it was pretty obvious he was going to get found out as the leak, one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember what happened.
All
But even
right.
if he did run away to Belize or what the fuck ever, like they should have included something with him. I don't understand. I don't get the from a storytelling perspective. I don't understand leaving him out completely, especially when you had some fat you could have cut in that episode.
There were a lot of really long dwelling shots that
Yeah.
kind of lasted too long.
Yeah, and not I can't think of a scene you could have cut out, but it just there was a lot of reactionary shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like a good example when Sage visited Homelander. Nothing really happened in that one annoyed me a little bit on in retrospect. Like when I first watched it, I was like, okay, but thinking about it later,
Okay, so here it is. This all came to a head in episode 7 when A-Train showed up to fight the Deep and Black Noir when they came to finish off the boys.
that's
After
right.
turning on his former colleagues, he seeks out Ashley, who's looking for a way out. Unfortunately, she can't bring herself to leave, and A-Train uh, departs on his own. So yeah,
Yeah,
A-Train
that's
just
right.
fucking bailed.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. So yeah, he did just fucking
Hmm.
bail. But
But with everything that just happened at the end, where basically everyone is fucked, A-Train's probably going to be the one who comes in to save him.
probably, but at the very end, at least show him watching Homelander's speech on TV. You know, something like show that he's still in the universe. You
Gotcha.
know,
Well,
I don't know.
maybe they didn't want to do two teases. Maybe they only wanted to tease Soldier Boy.
But that's not really a tease, though. I mean,
No, you're right.
he's been a main character the entire season.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah,
Surely
maybe.
he's coming back. Like if he's not coming back, that's what the fuck, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine that the actor doesn't want to play the part anymore. I mean, but who knows? Maybe there's some enmity on set. Could be any number of things.
Okay, don't.
A Black Noir. The motor
Um,
boner thing was thing, and I got another thing that's tied into that. We'll talk to in a bit.
but yeah, I really like the first Black Noir, like the first three seasons of him. I enjoyed well a lot for the first bit. You don't know anything about him, but then season three, when you find out like his backstory and everything, I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed him. I thought it was really good, and this guy wasn't bad, but I feel like it would have been a better. I feel like he'd have been a better character if it had been him replacing Black Noir. If it had just been a new person they joined, and
Mm-hmm.
they kind of went through the same journey that Starlight did, being in the seven, but in reverse. Like come in all sunshine and rainbows. Yeah, I'm on the seven, and then realize that everybody's terrible, and then they also become terrible instead of
Mm-hmm.
Starlight rejecting it. I feel like that would have been a better character and story, but yeah, this one's okay.
Well, that is. I mean, that is the storyline that happened with him, though.
Yeah, but I feel like it would have
You
been
feel?
better
Yeah,
if
I
he'd been.
understand. Yeah, definitely, probably would have been better with another character.
Yeah,
I guess they're sort of scrambling maybe to figure out what to do with Black Noir because of how important he ended up being in the comic books, but that's not going to happen
yeah.
in the show. Which I don't know if we should talk about what happens in the comic books since it's two different formats and two different types of spoilers.
I think. Yeah, I think probably. I mean, it is a 20-something-year-old comic book, so or 15 or so. It was like 2008, 2009, something like
Something
that.
like that. Yeah, I remember we looked it up the other day, but
Yeah.
I don't want to do it again.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, they're definitely not doing. I haven't gotten that far into it, but they're definitely not. I mean, they can't do what they did in the comic book.
Also, fun fact: what happened? Have you read Hero Gasm yet?
No, I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it right here now. Little tiny spoiler for the comic. What happens to the spider or arachnid? What's that his name? In
Yeah,
that was actually
web
Webweaver.
web weaver. There we go.
Hmm. So that was actually Soldier Boy in the comic books, basically, but that happened at Hero Gasm. Soldier Boy was not Soldier Boy that we know in the comics. He was a sidekick who wanted to be in the and so Homelander would just bang him every now and then, saying that it was going to let him be in the seven, but they were never going to let him in the seven.
That's the I saw a still from I think it was part of a meme, but it was just a still shot from that, and I'm oh okay. That's who it was then. I'm pretty sure in that where Homelander was in bed with somebody talking shit. I
Hmm.
forget what. That's probably who that was. Huh?
So the murder boner thing that leads me to boners, right? Dicks. So many dicks in The Boys. And while, it's not personally my cup of tea, I appreciate the equality. We have spent so many years with action movies full of boobies and everything. Now a little bit of equality for people who have different tastes.
Yeah, I think they just do it for shock value.
Oh, totally done for
Uh,
shock
like
value,
I
but
don't think
also,
they're making a statement with all the wangers.
I
But
mean, you can do both.
somebody pointed out on Facebook or Reddit or something I was reading the other day. I don't think there's actually. I can't remember. Probably during Hero Gasm there was, but outside of that, I don't remember a time at all where there was even like we saw Aaron Moriarty's ass in this episode. I think that's the most female nudity that's been in it.
There has been other instances, but it is.
Okay. I don't remember any. Like, so it can't have been.
I'm pretty sure Pop Claw got topless,
That
but I
would
could be
make
wrong.
sense, but I don't. I was like season 2, wasn't it? Season
One or
1.
two.
Yeah, they're fucking 2 years in between seasons. It's hard to remember that shit. But yeah, speaking of Ally, Love Sausage, funny in the show,
Yeah.
and they keep using him to assault Mother's Milk, and that's hilarious. I love that. Like that's a running thing.
hmm
But man, he was so much cooler in the comic.
So much cooler in the comic. Like
Like,
you dug him in the comic.
yeah, man, like Baz was awesome. He's the only communist you ever like. But he's like a pure communist, you know? He wants like the good communism
hmm
that doesn't exist.
Yeah. No. Hey, we're not talking about politics.
That's true. That's true. Well, we're talking about fairy tales, but yeah, like I mean, he's a fine addition to the show, and they would need to do a season in Moscow pretty much for that character to mean anything.
hmm
So they wanted to
Which
obviously they wanted to include him, but
you could have done for Soldier Boys, like for Finding Soldier Boy. I mean, maybe not a whole season, maybe a 2 episode, 3 episode arc, but
yeah. But could you really grow to love him the same way in 2 or 3 episodes when you have all the other stuff that has to go on?
it's very possible characters have left bigger marks with less time.
Yeah, but then you'd be super pissed that he never came back. They'd have to bring him to fucking Washington for some reason.
Well, it's like
Um,
how I felt when Timothy Oliphant died in the Boba Fett show, and I was like, oh really? Like that's it for him?
Fucking
Shit.
spoilers, man.
I mean, how long ago was that now? 3 years?
I don't know. I'm not planning to watch it. That was the only reason I was even interested in the show was that I heard he was in it. I have a deep rooted. That's a whole different episode of my feelings on Boba Fett. But anyways, what else, dude? Okay, so Frenchie and Kimiko, right?
hmm
Kimiko, whatever. Last season they were like, oh, we just should be friends, fine. I was like, okay. I don't like it. It's not what I want, but I'm a hopeless romantic in these types of situations. So
hmm
whatever. But I was like, okay, it at least made sense. It was a good story. It defied a trope, if you will, and it was fine. Then they had him in that bullshit with Colin at the beginning of this season that they didn't it didn't go anywhere. He turned himself in. He was gone for an episode, and now he comes back, and it's immediately status quo again. So like, I didn't like the relationship in the first place, and it has nothing to do with him being gay because he's a French drug user. Of
I
course,
never for one moment believed that Frenchie had
was
not
not.
believed. I never even for one moment had an inkling that he was possibly completely straight from the
Yeah,
moment he was on camera. And
yeah.
I don't mean that as an insult or anything.
No, he's just like that. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense that his character wouldn't have experimented with a lot of shit. Like,
hmm
and he but that relationship, and if it had just been a relationship, fine. But they did that bullshit where there's this secret. He killed their family, and now he's, you know it's gonna come out. Like it's definitely gonna come out, and it's gonna be a problem. And then it went exactly like you would expect it to, and then that character just went, and that's it. That character's gone. Like
hmm
unless they're gonna bring it back and talk to, like do something with it next season, which I don't see why they would. That would be a damn waste of screen time at this point. that whole thing was basically pointless.
I think the only reason that it was there was to make Kimiko finally admitting for her love for Frenchie have some sort of impact. Because for the first 3 seasons, you just saw it coming. You're just like, they're going to end up together. But it was sort of, I don't know if lazy is the right word, but clumsily done.
I think lazy is the right word because you didn't need him to have another relationship for her arc to work. Her
True.
arc was fine on its own. They could have done everything there, and Frenchie was just along for the ride the entire time. He didn't need another relationship. It wasn't needed. It was wasted screen time. It was a wasted storyline that they could have spent time devoting to something more interesting. A lot of people have like it's not
Mm-hmm.
that's not unheard of, but like it's it didn't need to be this whole convoluted ass mess, even if she did that. In fact, I think it would have been a better story if it hadn't been that convoluted mess and he could have had a legitimate relationship with
Oh,
somebody and then he has to choose.
for sure.
Like
For
that would have
sure,
been
that
a
would have been better.
way more impactful story. Or there's a bunch of other ways they could have did it, but they did it the laziest, most tropey way they could, and I hated it from the get go because you knew it wasn't gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was very disappointed with that part.
Yeah, you could have done that completely differently, and you also could have done it a lot faster.
Yeah,
Like you could have just started off the season with Frenchie dating anyone and having a good time because now he has finally accepted he's never going to have Kimiko.
yeah,
But then you see her seeing that, and over the course of 2 episodes, you don't even need to waste a whole season on it. She realizes she's in love with him, but then now he's actually started to build this thing with this other person. So now he's got to make that choice.
yeah, absolutely. And then you still could have got the kiss at the end that was like it would have had even more weight.
Mm-hmm.
That just would have been a better story. Um, for everyone involved, and it was just a wasted opportunity on something that's probably not going to get mentioned again at all.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because
that,
as Short Round said, no time for love, Dr. Jones, with where the next season's going.
yeah, that one just. Also, at this point, Kimiko is the only character in this fucking show I actually like anymore. Like, she's the only person that seems like a good person.
Yeah. Maybe Mother's Milk.
I don't know. I've never been a. He's just such a dick all the time.
He
Like,
is an unnecessary dick.
I mean, well, I wouldn't say unnecessary. Like, he's got to be the dick to keep everything. Like, he's the dick that keeps everything fucking moving forward, right?
Mhm.
Because like, if he's not there to counteract Butcher, Butcher goes completely off the rails, and Frenchie starts shooting heroin into his eyeball, and he's kind of he's the mother of the group that
Yeah.
keeps everything together.
Mhm.
But I don't. That's not a character I particularly like. So yeah, he's necessary, and the actor's fine. I have no issues with him. It's the character itself. A character and at this point actress that I do find myself having issues with is fucking Erin Moriarty.
Yeah,
Oh
her
my god!
character was downright unlikable this season
Until the shapeshifter took over,
until the shapeshifter took over. Yeah.
and like, all right, I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't see it this way, but it was pointed out to me, and this is a whole ass thing. If we're gonna give this treatment to Revenge of the Nerds, it's only fair here. Huey was raped
Oh yeah.
repeatedly, and then he got in trouble with it because she was like, "Oh, you liked your raper more than me."
Yeah, that is an undeniable fact.
Like, and I'm not going to crusade about it because honestly, I mean, I didn't really. Someone had to point it out to me for me to be like, "Oh yeah, that is kind
Oh
of
yeah, I didn't
fucked
think of
up."
it either.
So like, I'm not going to rant about it, but like, if we're gonna say, like Revenge of the Nerds, that dude fucking dressed up like Darth Vader or whatever it was, raped the other woman. This woman raped Huey repeatedly and a lot. She made him do things he wasn't comfortable with.
Less than 20 times though.
Less than 20 times. That's true.
2 fingers was a lot.
Yeah, they clearly didn't discuss that beforehand. That means she just sprung it on him in the act. That's assault or whatever. But no, and not even just the sex stuff, but like she acted better when she was not playing Starlight. Like how the fuck does that happen?
Yeah. I guess maybe that's to show that no superhero can actually be.
I wonder if it's like if it was an intentional thing, like from editing or from her acting, or like maybe she just thinks the character's fucking stupid. Like, and that comes out in her acting when she is just being the character. I wonder if that's like a subconscious shit.
Well, there also sort of was a whole theme with Starlight this season about her entitlement.
Yeah,
Um, Going all the way back to with Firecracker, is that her name?
yeah,
Going back to Firecracker and the whole them being on the same pageant circuit together, and her all this stuff coming out about how Starlight, this paragon of virtue, has actually kind of been a piece of shit her entire life.
yeah, yeah. And then they I wish they would have I wish they would have explored that earlier and more. Like
Hmm.
because it adds a layer to the character and makes it a better character in my opinion. Not necessarily a good character again, but in this universe it fucking fits because everybody sucks. At least, Kimiko killing all of her fucking friends and shit, she didn't really have a choice.
Nah.
Again, only good character in the series. Like good on the D&D alignment. But there are other good characters, they're just not good characters, obviously. Um like and I mean, I don't. You're not supposed to emulate him. Obviously, he's that kind of character. But like, Homelander's a fantastic character
Yeah.
and done like portrayed brilliantly by Anthony Starr,
And what
which
what I
is a
find
problem.
interesting is that there's so much over the past couple of years, it's been so much that villains have to be sympathetic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like the new thing about villains. It's like when they changed from Arnold Schwarzenegger to Bruce Willis for action heroes. It's like they made a shift that every villain had to be sympathetic and have a cause. But sometimes it's nice to just have a villain who's fucking evil, like Freddy Krueger, just evil, no redemption, and that's what Homelander is.
Yeah, I mean, with this season at least they added in some stuff to. I don't want to say make you sympathize, but you can have some empathy for him.
Yeah, but it
But
also
he does. Yeah,
it goes to
he's
say after it though that you're still, I mean, when trauma sucks, what happens
yeah,
to you
yeah.
in a bad situation sucks, but you're still responsible for how you react to it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you look at, I mean, I watch a lot of true crime shit. Like you look at any of those, 9 times out of 10, they were fucking, you know, beaten or molested as children, and then they ended up doing that to other people, and wearing their face as a mask as they do their little cookie dance and shit like that. Like yeah, your trauma doesn't justify your shitty behavior. Like you're still responsible for your shitty behavior, but you can empathize with somebody and still find them to be a deplorable person, which
Absolutely.
apparently no, like that's actually a good lesson that we need to learn in the non-political world. Like you can empathize with somebody even when you fucking disagree with them,
Very, very few things in life are black and white.
except for Oreos,
And ding dong,
newspapers.
big black ding. Now a word
Uh,
from our sponsor, Hostess. That's the stuff.
oh my
Where's the
god,
cream filling?
oh my god, Hostess would be an amazing sponsor.
Oh yeah. I mean, if we could get Hostess to sponsor the Fat Guy Pro Tip, what about Firecracker?
I feel. I wonder if they're gonna give like if she gonna. Okay, not. I wonder if definitely she's gonna turn on Homelander next season.
Hmm.
I'm calling it now, but she's not gonna go. She's not gonna turn good. Like she's not gonna go face. She's gonna continue to be just a
Yeah.
horrible Marjorie Taylor Greene, and
Yeah, well, because I think Starlight's got a killer.
yeah, yeah, definitely like straight up. Like that's how that has to happen, and but I bet she don't. I bet Homelander does. She should, but I bet Homelander kills her.
I think Homelander's got enough people to kill because basically I could see a universe where all of the main cast turns on Homelander except for Noir.
I think that in the penultimate episode of season 5, he's gonna clean house and kill just about everyone,
Hmm.
and then the who's left, the good guys are gonna take him out in the last episode. That's what I think's gonna happen. So I think he'll kill Like if Ashley's still around or comes back, somebody will kill her. He'll kill Firecracker. He'll probably kill the Deep. Probably the guy who's now the president. Yeah, I think he'll just go.
President Bobby Singer. Has he said it?
Yeah, he said it in this episode.
Did it? I missed it. Damn it.
He said it. It was when he was in the bunker.
Yeah.
I think it was actually he said it following the if you had killed.
Oh yeah, if you idiots had killed her
Human
like
like
I
I
had
told her.
told you to.
Yeah, he said idiots in that. I don't know if he said it before that, but he definitely said it this episode.
Yeah, I love that he's back as Robert Singer. I just think that that's a whole lot of fun.
Yep. Speaking of throwbacks to Supernatural, I like that the shapeshifter followed the same rules that the shapeshifter in Supernatural did.
Yeah. It's always nice when somebody can carry a voice like that through things. So Kripke's carrying that through
Yeah.
fair. And I saw this was what's the word? Dedicated to Larry Kripke. I guess that was maybe his dad or something.
I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know. Let's go look that up real quick. I meant to earlier and I forgot. It's Larry Kripke.
A father to executive producer of The Boys, Eric Kripke.
Yep.
So I'm
No,
wondering
he died
what
in
sort of
February. He died this year. He died in 2024. February 2024.
yeah. Oh, speaking of Parkinson's, and this is also sad, but there was this whole thing about the fact that Michael J. Fox had forgotten how to skateboard between Back to the Future 1 and 2. And he only recently realized, like within the past couple of years, that that was the start of the Parkinson's.
Shit. That's sad too. I don't want to talk about this. That's just
Yeah, no, we're done
depressing,
with
man.
that topic. So I think Firecracker's probably going to get Parkinson's from all of the milk medication.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Oh, I hope not.
No, yeah.
Surely he wouldn't do that.
No. Oh, yeah, because that's his dad. Oh, I was just making a
Yeah.
joke. Oh, I'm such a piece of shit. I mean, I was going to cut that out, but now that I've realized how much of a piece of shit I am, I might just leave it in. Like, I was going to cut it out before I even said it. I planned. Oh, God, I'm horrible. Oh, I'm the worst.
Yeah. That was pretty bad. That was bad. You should feel bad.
I do feel bad.
Anyways, Firecracker, man. I don't like, she's deplorable like everyone else is, but I don't like her character, but I think she was a really good addition. Like,
Mhm. And they really could go anywhere with her character for the next
Yeah.
season. Like where they left her off with Homelander, like pushing her down the table. Like she could turn, like there is a universe in which she could end up going face.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be a good move.
yeah, I don't
I
think
think
so
it would be
either.
better to not do that, but it's
I think her and Sister Sage teaming up to be like, we'll make this shit girl power world or something like that. I think that would be a good way to go with that. And then, of course, they double cross each other, and then Homelander kills them both.
Or just the moment when they're about to do their girl power thing, like when they show up and Sage is like, I know how to beat him, and Firecracker's like, I'll help you. They burst through the door and they don't even say a word. They just get lasered the fucking half.
Yeah. Oh man. So Sage, right? I get it. She's playing 4D chess. But like this is like my only issue with The Dark Knight as a movie. So many things had to fall in line perfectly for her plan to work that even being the smartest person in the world, she could not have possibly known it was going to work that way. Just like the Joker in The Dark Knight. Like,
Here's my theory. She never knew what was going on. Not once.
and she's just
But she's
capitalizing.
just a really good liar.
That would actually be that would be a good way to do that.
Because there's no way that she could have predicted that she would have gotten shot in the head and lobotomized at the party.
Yeah.
There's no way she could have planned for that. Or, you have no way there's no way you could have known how that would work if that was the plan.
Yeah, and like she could have had a good idea of how it would happen, but she had no way of knowing Butcher was going to show up and kill Newman.
Well,
Like-
yeah, because she was like, there's no reason to lie about certain things in certain places in certain situations. So like
Yeah.
her being that shocked to see Butcher and then getting shot in the face, or was it Butcher that shot her in the face? All of the stuff
Yeah,
that went
it
on in
was,
that episode, like
Mother's
there's
milk.
to me when she walked in after Homelander destroyed the whole room, and she's like, "Hey, this was my plan all along." I immediately went, "Oh no, she's a con artist."
Now
Like
what
she is. She's definitely smarter than everyone else.
Yeah.
but she's a con artist.
So like that would be a good way to take her story and like just reveal that at some point, like have it brought up, and she'd be like, "No, I didn't know that shit was gonna happen. I just saw an opening and took it."
Mm-hmm.
Like that would actually be pretty. That would be a pretty good story beat, I think. I
Yeah.
think they should definitely do something like that. That would be really good. And I mean, it still plays into her being the smartest person alive because
Mm-hmm.
she saw the
Yeah, because
opportunity, she took
no
it.
matter how you're getting over with somebody, whether you actually know the thing or you just know how to manipulate them, that's still being smart enough to get over somebody.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like that. I hope they do it that way. That would be good. I would like that a lot. Um, because I like her character and I like the actress that plays her. Like
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed her addition to this season. I just thought that was a cop out bullshit thing.
Yeah. I mean,
So
and maybe I'm being optimistic. Maybe I'm being overly optimistic and giving them too much credit. Maybe they're not going to do something cool like that.
yeah, I don't know if they are or not, but I really hope they do now. Like I'm gonna continue to think that's their intention and just
Well,
have
maybe
positive thoughts.
Kripke will hear this and steal my idea.
Yeah, I mean I've told he's a listener.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
He's a big fan.
yeah, on the forums he's always posting about our D&D stuff. Like it's great.
Which next week we are going to be back by popular demand. We got another D&D episode coming at you.
So this was a I saw I can't take credit for this is but I saw it on Reddit today. Reading a thread about the season finale. I wish this had been the actual dialogue when they're in there with Ryan and Butcher's playing the game with him or whatever, and Mallory just starts out it's like your father's a genocidal rapist lunatic or whatever. It's like you know how they'll do like this and then the person responds and Butcher responds Jesus, who starts a fucking conversation like that? We're just playing Connect Four. I wish that's what he would have actually said.
That would have been great.
Yeah,
Listen here, you cunt. I'm just trying to
yeah.
spend time with my stepson, eh?
I mean, it's basically what he said anyway, just like summarized. But like, I wish he would have actually said that.
Yeah.
Who starts a fucking conversation like that? Oh man, that was good though. But you know, I'm concerned. I don't like that it felt ambiguous as to whether or not Ryan killed her on accident. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to do that, but whether it was a failing in writing or the actor conveying the emotion, it didn't feel like he was remorseful when it happened. He just bolted.
Well, so the impression that I got was that it was an accident, but also that he wasn't remorseful for it. Like he didn't want to do it, but when it happened, he's like, it is what it is.
Yeah, okay. Then I mean that's fair, but I don't like that it's
Hmm. You know what it is like? It's like Homelander accidentally killing everyone on that flight. Well, first accidentally killing them, but like accidentally destroying the plane and just being like, oh well. Like he would have loved to have saved everyone on that plane. It would have been great for him. But when it became too late, he was not afraid to be like, fuck it.
yeah. Yeah. And I mean if that's the direction they're going with it, then fine, it was done well. But it wasn't conveyed one way or the other. Like he didn't I didn't feel like he really conveyed what his emotion was afterwards. Like he didn't do that. He didn't shrug his shoulders and go, Meh, and go on. He just looked blankly with no emotion and then left.
Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying.
I like either way they take it is fine. Like he doesn't, you know, if he turns out to be a psychopath and they got to kill him too, okay. Um, seems even for this show a little much that a group of adults are gonna go on a rampage to murder a 12-year-old or however old he is. But fine, I have no problem with it. I just my main issues was I felt it was ambiguous and they didn't really convey what he was feeling then very well.
I get what you're saying. And also, I probably, I was not sober while I was watching that. So,
So Butcher's power finally being revealed.
yeah.
I was hoping it would just be like a full-on Venom symbiote thing. A little disappointed. I mean, it's fine. He's a
Hmm.
tentacle monster. He's fucking the Asian kid from Umbrella Academy, whatever.
Yeah, but also, like, the whole Venom thing would have been cool because the other personality would have been Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
That's just what I was hoping. He'd turn into a big, like, black monster thing and rip her apart instead of using the tentacles. But
Hmm.
the tentacles are fine.
It definitely would have looked cooler than him just standing in place and having tentacles whipping out of his chest.
Yep.
That was a little, I don't want to say lame, but lame.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you watched The Umbrella Academy?
I have not. I've been hearing that I need to.
It's good. I enjoy it a lot. But one of the characters in it has that power pretty much exactly. Like they come out of his chest and shit and everything. He's also super strong. Like apparently Butcher is.
Didn't he have laser eyes at one point, like the first time he got Temp V?
Yeah, yeah. When he was taking Temp V, he basically had all of Homelander's powers, but he couldn't fly.
Yeah, I wonder like why he doesn't have those powers anymore.
There's a theory I've seen bouncing around that he didn't get the powers. The brain rot or his cancer or whatever it was got the powers, like in episode 7 of Diabolical.
Okay, that's cool.
I kind of hope they
I gotta
go that
rewatch
route.
Diabolical.
That's the best episode in that. Like it's that one. That one's the best one by far. It's so good. That's the one with the old lady's dying of like pancreatic cancer, and her husband's there with her, and then the cancer gets superpowers, and then she has to go fight it. It's such
Hmm.
a good episode. It was a beautiful story. I cried. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, so that's the theory going around, and that would make sense. I don't know if they're gonna do that.
I mean,
Um,
it definitely, like the appearance of it didn't look healthy. So if you were to tell me that that was like an extension, a living extension of a tumor, a
mhm.
sentient tumor, I'd be like, yeah, I get it.
But conversely, Butcher did actually look a lot healthier. So maybe it is sort of a symbiote thing where like if he's working with it, he'll live, like he'll
Hmm.
he'll survive. Versus when he was fighting it, it was killing him.
Yeah, that would make sense. Because basically the Venom movie did the same thing.
Yep. So I think that's a theory I've seen bounced around, and I don't know if it's gonna be accurate, but I think it's got some legs to it.
Yeah, it definitely got legs. There was another character I wanted to talk about. Who the frick was it? Oh yeah, it was Butcher. But the whole I had no idea that Jeffrey Dean Morgan wasn't actually there. Kessler, is that his name?
Yeah.
I had no idea that he wasn't actually there. I don't know what I missed, but when that happened, like just leading up to it, like right before the reveal, I just started going, "Oh wait. Oh no. Oh shit." But apparently people knew all along. I'm just an idiot,
So,
I guess.
no, you're not. So I don't think you really missed much. I think I don't know. I need to go back and watch it to be sure, but I don't know how many clues there were. That person that I mentioned earlier that it's been spoiling stuff
Hmm.
that we cut out. There was a person that had been spoiling or putting out spoilers for the boys since I think since like season 1. They were supposedly a hairstylist or something. They worked on set. Um, and they'd been putting out spoilers, and they were all bang on. They put that out, and then a lot of people went, "Oh, yeah, that would make sense." So I don't think like there may have been some clues, and some people might have picked up on it, but it wouldn't have been as widespread if I think Vault HQ was the account if they hadn't
Gotcha.
put the spoiler out. That's where I heard about it, and I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." Like I didn't pick up on anything. I saw the spoiler on it.
Man, don't you miss when you could, not find out things about movies before going and seeing them?
So that doesn't really bother me that much, and it kind of goes back to I think we had the discussion in the last episode where like if spoilers can ruin a movie for me, I don't think it was a good movie.
I think that it depends on specifically what the spoiler was. And I'll give you one example. And I'm not saying this is the majority of situations. I'm saying specific situations.
Haven't seen it. Don't know.
Watch Memento. And we will talk about this in another episode after you've watched
Okay.
fantastic movie.
I'll check it out for the sake of this, but I don't think it's going to change my mind. That if you
Well, no, but
can't
I'm just saying
enjoy a movie
all I'm
knowing how
saying
it's
is we
going
can
to
have a
end, yeah,
all I'm saying is it can lead to a discussion for us.
yeah, and well, we definitely can. But like, I just don't like if you can't enjoy something just because you know the end of it, I don't think it was a good
When it's
thing to
not even
begin with.
about the end of it. like the stuff that I'm more concerned about spoiling is like the cool moments, right? Like I wish that so much of the news about Deadpool 3 had not come out about all the cameos, who's going to be in it, all the different people who were showing up on set, like all that stuff. All that stuff, it would be cool if we could maybe keep that a secret.
I mean, look. I guess what the point I'm trying to make, like, there's definitely an enjoyment factor to being surprised. I'm not
Hmm.
denying that, and maybe you can enjoy something less than you would have if you weren't surprised. But if you don't enjoy it because it was spoiled, it wasn't good in the first place. Like, you should still be able to enjoy it. Maybe you don't enjoy it as much,
No, I will agree 100%
but
with you
it,
on
like,
that.
yeah, like again, like M Night Shyamalan movies.
Hmm.
If you know the ending, there's no point in watching most of those movies.
Yeah.
Therefore, I don't think they're good.
The Village I thought was interesting watching after knowing what was going on, as opposed to The Happening, which wasn't very interesting to watch either way.
So yeah, The Village, I saw it in theaters. That was back before I realized I hated everything M Night Shyamalan did. Also before he fucked up the Avatar. Maybe, but like once I found out the twist, I was like, the only thing that movie had me going was like, what the fuck is going on? Like I remember sitting there going like, I don't like this, but I really want to know what is the point. Like, what's the story? Because there was
Uh,
like the story sucked except for the twist, in my opinion. So I had no interest in going back to pick up any details. So, but like, trying to think of a good example. Nothing's coming to mind. There are movies that like once you Fight Club is a prime example of that. Once you find out the that Tyler Durden is the narrator, you can go back and watch and look at clues and stuff that are given throughout, and it's awesome.
yeah.
And it's but the movie stands on its own, knowing that Tyler Durden and Edward Norton are the same person.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But also, it is so much cooler watching it the first time if you don't know it. But
Yeah,
it does not make it a bad movie not
yeah,
knowing it. No.
exactly. Well,
And the same
that's
thing, Memento is not a bad movie when you
yeah,
watch it. It's actually eminently every time you watch it, you notice more.
yeah. So
But the way that it is played forth is the coolest.
yeah, so that's my point. Like,
Hmm.
sure, it can take away something, but like some people will like. I have a friend of mine that if you fucking spoil anything, he just won't watch it. Like, and I mean anything. Have you ever seen Altered Carbon?
No.
Yeah, this is a good example of what I was trying to say. But if you haven't seen it, doesn't anyway. So it's a show. Here, I'll give you a synopsis without spoiling anything. It's a show takes place thousands of years in the future. Um, they have these little discs that you put in the neck of like a dummy human, and you can transfer consciousness. So like in this world, rich people basically are immortal because they can just keep buying new bodies,
Hmm.
and they back up their disk to a multiple servers and shit, and that's the world, right? You find all of this out in the intro to the goddamn show. I was moderately interested in watching it. I wasn't really sure. I didn't know much. So, but my friend had started watching it, and I was like, "Hey, so what's it about?" And he's like, "Well, I can't really tell you anything without spoiling it." I'm like, "Okay, well, like what kind of show is it?" And he's like, "I don't know. It's like a sci-fi show." I'm like, "Okay, well, like what the fuck is it aliens or what?" He's like, "You just need to watch it." I'm like, "You can't tell me anything I just told you. Do you think any of that show has been spoiled by me describing it to you just now?"
No.
No, it wasn't. Because again, you literally find all that shit out in like the opening sequence of the show. If the only like if a spoiler like that, if spoiling the ending means you're not going to enjoy the movie, I don't think the movie was going to be enjoyable in the first place.
Hmm.
Like for me at least, like if knowing the ending means I won't enjoy the movie, I don't think it was a good movie.
Yeah. What's really funny about that entire little debate we have is that we both really were saying the same thing, just saying it different
Yeah,
ways.
like
We were just coming from it at different angles.
yeah, like and But no, that dude is the main reason I even have the strong fucking opinion. 'Cause, like, that's just so stupid to me. It's like you're just not enjoying things that you would definitely enjoy. He also gets super mad if he tries to recommend you something and you don't watch it. He gets so mad. So mad. So mad. And that's funny to me. Like, I'll purposely put off watching shit just to get under his skin.
Yeah, I've done that before.
But like, here's the
I
thing.
actually I actually to this day still have not watched the show Scorpion because when I met Robert Patrick, I was talking about how much I love the Terminator, and he goes, "What about my new show Scorpion?" And I was like, I'll be honest, I haven't really seen it. He goes, "What? You're gonna come and meet me and not see my new show?" And I'm like, "Man, I just love Terminator," and kind of still just have not watched that show, kind of because of that reason.
He it's not good. I wouldn't recommend it. It's very formulaic. My girlfriend watched it a little bit, and I caught some episodes here or there. You might would like it, maybe. But it's not. It's a CBS, I think, like
Hmm.
primetime procedural drama thing, and it's just like all the others. Um,
Robert, if you're listening, I loved you in Peacemaker.
oh my God, he was so good. He's been.
So good in
Yeah,
Peacemaker.
why didn't you meet him before Peacemaker was coming out? Like, that
Uh,
would have been. No, he's so good in so much stuff, but that one ain't. I mean, and
mhm.
he's good in
Did you know that for Terminator 2, when he's chasing the scooter, he actually had to slow down because he kept catching the scooter?
Scooter.
Or not scooter, motorcycle, dirt bike.
Oh, that. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that was a shitty, cheap little motorcycle, and there was
Hmm.
two teenage boys on it. Like, yeah,
But also, he spent months before filming training how to run without looking like he's breathing, and in that became like a ridiculously fast runner. Like
that makes sense, and
I
it's
forget
also
what the speed
insane.
was that he was going, but it was ridiculous. Like you know for an actor to run that fast, like for a
Yeah.
professional athlete, it would have been a problem.
Oh my God, I've probably brought this up, possibly on the podcast, but you saying that makes me think of it, and it's one of my favorite quotes of all time. There was I don't remember the movie, but it was like Sidney Poitier and God damn it, famous method actor, real big in like the 70s and 80s.
Brando?
No,
No, De Niro? You said Taxi Driver. I started thinking Streetcar Named Desire.
who played fucking Travis Bickle?
Travis Bickle. That was De Niro, wasn't it?
I think so. Then I'm thinking about a different movie. Fuck. Yeah, you're right. De Niro was Taxi Driver. God, what the fuck? My God. And it's not Taxi Driver. That's not the movie I'm thinking about. Okay, I have all the names wrong, but it was Dustin Hoffman is the other person, and it's not Sidney Poitier. It's Laurence Olivier. Anyways, I hope you can understand how I got those two names confused. Okay, give me a fucking break.
But also, one of the funniest things is that Laurence Olivier is famous for having done blackface to play Othello when it
Yeah,
probably should have been Sidney Poitier.
yeah, you're right. That is, yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. I actually just found the thing. So what movie was it? This isn't gonna say it. It just has the quote, and maybe this
Well,
quote isn't even fucking real. I don't know. But anyways, he was playing a part where like the actor was like a marathon runner or something. So he was running like 25 miles a day. And he mentions it to Laurence Olivier, and Lawrence's response is, "Why don't you try acting?" And that's just that. Yeah, why don't you try acting? Like, that's kind of been ruined because I had to take all that time to look it up.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going through. I think this was one. Sam and Kate, and then Cindy, whatever her name was, popping up there at the end was cool, but it didn't have any weight. Like,
No, it really didn't. I mean, honestly, when I saw them pop up, even though I just saw Gen V for the first time like 3 weeks ago, when they popped up there, I didn't even have a second thought as to who they were.
yeah, like those two, I think would have been more impactful if they hadn't introduced them earlier in the season. Whereas the telepathic girl, I forgot who she was.
Hmm.
Like, that was 6 years ago, man. 4 years ago. Also, this 2 years in between seasons bullshit, I'm over it. Okay. It was bullshit when Game of Thrones did it, bullshit when the boys do it. Like, come on.
And also the fact that we wait those 2 years and only get 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember when TV, you used to every year, you would get 13 episodes or 26 episodes?
Yep.
Like I got the Batman 1966 series, and like one episode has like season has like 50 episodes in it.
Yep. Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
oh,
we
have
grew
we
up on
talked?
the 24, 26 episode seasons.
Yeah.
Um,
Did we talk about Ashley?
no.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Um,
I'm very curious as to what's going to happen with her.
yeah. The arc that she has taken over the series has been mighty curious.
Yeah.
I did not expect the whole sexual sadism thing to come out and everything. I honestly thought for a while that she was going to be a good guy of like at one point, but not in self-defense. Like she would have been like, "Okay, no, I can't take this." I thought she was going to leave with A-Train even.
Yeah.
But then now she's turning into the Incredible Hulk.
Maybe or something. I don't know. Like the again the spoiler thing, if I remember right on that, was that they said she was going to have like her body was going to have like a bad reaction with the V, and she was going to be like a blob
Mhm.
or something. To which I would like to see her pop up as like maybe not the big bad of the next season, but a threat at one point as like anime style Akira, just giant amorphous blob trying to swallow the city. I would personally like to see that.
Oh, I would
Um,
hate to see that in live action. Like, 'cause that's going to be so gross.
didn't they make an Akira live action?
I thought they were planning to with the I know Jordan Peele was involved with the project at one point.
I mean, I haven't watched any of those live action. First thing that pops up, okay, it's still planned. I don't know if it's Taika Waititi is apparently doing it.
You know, I absolutely love Taika Waititi, but I don't think so. No.
I loved him until Love and Thunder.
I liked Love and Thunder.
Look, it was okay, but it's not what I wanted. First off, and the reason is it was too much. Like all the MCU movies have that nice balance of like levity and harrowing situations and shit, but like the fucking screaming goats at the beginning, it was
Hmm.
funny once,
Yeah.
and then they
So,
needed to stop immediately. And like
hmm
that was just the theme of that whole movie. Like it was fun, but stop. And
I
then they never stopped.
for me, there's this weird separation between Thor and the rest of the Marvel universe. For some reason, I can watch Ragnarok and I can watch Love and Thunder and just not think about that stuff. And also, Russell Crowe as Zeus was the best thing ever. I loved that. That
That
terrible accent that he did, the overacting.
that no, I that was good. I agree with you on that. Like that was good. And Christian Bale is Gore the God Butcher.
Hmm.
He turned out really good. But like it was like all right, so that movie had some really dark themes, right? Like first off, everything with Gore the God Butcher, Natalie Portman's character having cancer, all that. And as MCU movies do, they try to balance that out with some lightheartedness. They did too much. It took away from any real meaning in everything else, in my opinion, because it was just constant, Thor's fat now jokes.
I'm not going to disagree with you at all. I can't. I mean, each of the individual jokes, though, like a lot of them were very funny, but they did ruin the tone. Like Melissa
Yeah.
McCarthy playing Hella is so funny.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly that. Like in individual snippets, they were fine. It was just too much of it.
Hmm.
And it ruined what should have been an amazing, like heartfelt, albeit dark story with female Thor. Like
Hmm.
it fucking ruined it. And Gore the God Butcher is amazing
Yeah.
in the comics, and it just fucking ruined it. And like I can't forgive him for that because it could have been it could have been the best fucking MCU movie.
And
If
I will say, the November Rain needle drop at the end is one of the best needle drops in the MCU.
I actually don't even remember it.
It's the fight scene where all the kids are fighting the
Hmm.
shadows,
Okay.
and the Guns N' Roses November Rain is playing, and it's just timed and edited perfectly, and all these little kids are being just super badass.
Is it November Rain or Sweet Child of
No, Sweet Child of Mine is at a different point in that.
Mine? Okay.
That scene is November Rain.
Okay. I mean, that's cool. I can't remember that. That's my favorite GNR song too. I mean, whatever. Um, I think at that point I was probably like, okay, come on, let's get it fucking over with.
Try just going and watching that scene. Don't watch the rest of the movie, but just watch that scene and just let
Yeah.
me know what you think about it in isolation.
Yeah, and like I have no issues with the story. Like I thought that was pretty cool. Like sharing his power amongst all of them. Like that was a pretty neat thing. I thought the story was awesome. It was the whole thing was just ruined for me because it was too much slapstick bullshit thrown in because Guardians of the Galaxy made $1 billion, I guess. I mean,
Okay. Another good joke I liked though was Korg marrying a rock named Dwayne.
again, the jokes were fine. Like I don't even have a problem with the jokes in themselves. There were
Except for the
just too
screaming
many
goat.
of them,
That was
except for
just
the
a really
screaming
bad
goat.
joke.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a good joke the first time.
Hmm.
Like it was awesome at first, but I think they did it 3 times. They did it at least twice, but the second time I was like, this is too much. Stop. And like that scene with him and Chris Pratt, where he's like, "Yeah, no, no, you're in charge." Like that
Well,
whole
that
thing.
was wasn't that was from Avengers.
I thought that was
That
at the
was
beginning of.
yeah, that was at the end of Endgame, I think.
Was it?
I
Where
might be
okay.
wrong.
I
There's a
just
very good
no,
chance I'm
no,
wrong.
because at the end of Endgame, he just flies off with him. But there's a scene at the beginning of that one where he's like it's when he leaves
Yeah.
them to go off, and it's I think well okay the you're in charge part might not have been there, but like that whole scene, everything with those two on screen, whether it was in Endgame or what it was in Love and Thunder, everything just went on too long.
Well, you know what's funny? There's a different version of that scene that happens completely differently. There's also completely different scenes with Zeus where he gives the weapon and like gives some fatherly advice and stuff. So maybe you might like those better. Maybe they should have been in the movie and would have changed your opinion.
I probably would have liked Zeus giving him fatherly advice better. Like, I
I'll find those and send a link to you.
I don't know if they're gonna include Zeus or any of that in anything else, but I kind of want him to. He doesn't exactly fit what I would think of when I think of Zeus, but Russell Crowe as Zeus, like
He was fantastic.
it was so good.
Russell Crowe is having a lot of fun later in his career, and I'm really liking it. I just watched The Pope's Exorcist, and he was so much fun in that.
I really like. I kind of respect this for him. He's probably got to be in his 50s now, right?
For some reason, I'm thinking 62, but I don't know why.
Maybe. So like, forget what role it was, but he put on some weight for a role like some
N-
years back.
Nice
And
Guys.
was it that? I know he was Fat Crow in Nice Guys, but I don't know if that's the one he did it for. That would make sense. But whatever one he did it for, like he put it on and then he was just like, yeah, fuck that working out shit. And I respect the man for it. I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
you
because
know,
he's got some paunch on him in The Exorcist.
yeah.
And like
And
I honestly, when I saw it, I was like, oh, like is he in a fat suit?
yeah, no,
60. He was born in 1964.
okay. So yeah, no, he's just he. It might have been Nice Guys he did it for. I don't know exactly, but whatever one he did it, and then he just like, ah, fuck it, I'm not fucking doing that workout bullshit. I remember Gladiator. Fuck that.
I absolutely loved Nice Guys. Him and Ryan Gosling together.
It's it's good. It's definitely good. I don't love it, but only because it's just not my. The humor in it isn't quite my taste. I don't know exactly what it is
Do
about
you
it.
like Shane Black movies?
What else are his movies?
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Predator,
Those are two very
Iron Man
different
3.
movies. Yeah, no. Apparently, I do not like Shane Black movies. Iron Man
I
3
think
was
he wrote Lethal
garbage.
Weapon. He wrote Lethal Weapon 4, Last Action Hero,
Last Action Hero is really good.
Long Kiss Goodnight.
Those two, that and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. That's the detective or some shit, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, they all seem to be about private detectives and things like that.
Well, I thought it's based on a book, isn't it?
Oh, that I don't know.
I think it's based on a book
Oh
series.
shit, he wrote
It
the
might
Monster
be
Squad too.
the Bone Collector is also in that. I think might be wrong on that, but they're all based around a book. I'm pretty sure it's a like a private eye or a detective or something.
Gotcha.
Um, no, Last Action Hero was awesome. Um,
It's one of my favorite movies that I grew up watching.
yeah,
My little brother's actually working on collecting the toys from the original one, like
yeah.
still in their box. He just got Jack Slater's car recently.
I rewatched it some amount of years ago. It's been a minute, but it hadn't been like as an adult. I rewatched it. It held up. Like it's still really good. It's meta as all hell, but you know that was cool. Like not everything was meta in the '90s. That was groundbreaking. Now everything has to be fucking meta. It's one of my biggest concerns with Deadpool 4. That teaser added even more. Like I get his whole thing is that he knows he's a character in a show, but like don't make every fucking joke that. And I'm really worried they're going too heavy on it based
Well,
on the
so what I
trailers.
hope is happening with that is, have you read any of the Punisher or Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe comics?
No.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is going to happen is that they're going to do the Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, but instead it's going to be Deadpool kills the Marvel Multiverse. So this individual one movie will be all acknowledging movies and comic books exist. It'll basically be there will be no fourth wall for this movie, but that's going to repair the rest of the Marvel universe and get rid of all the multiverse bullshit that we're all sick of at this point.
Okay. So I was gonna say like the only one they've really hit the multiverse in was the Doctor Strange movie, but then I remembered that all the TV shows exist.
Yeah. Um Loki's fantastic.
I haven't watched it. Man, I haven't had much interest in watching any of those Marvel shows.
Some of them are really good, some of them are not.
I started watching WandaVision, but
I
I don't
like
know. I
that,
just
but I
didn't
have a
keep watching it.
very soft spot in my heart for sitcoms.
Yeah,
So that show is very much pointed at me.
I mean, I probably would appreciate it for the same thing. I just don't care. I don't know. I
That's
think it.
fair.
I like, and then I put off watching them, and now there's just too much. It's
Yeah.
like why I don't watch the One Piece anime. Like it's just too daunting to try to
hmm
get into that. Um,
Moon Knight was a lot of fun for me.
I did enjoy Moon Knight. I did watch it, but I think one of the reasons I was cool with it was a completely disconnected story. Like it didn't tie into anything else.
hmm
I think that was one of the things I liked the most about it.
Which I think is a good thing for the TV shows to do. Though I thought the Defenders crossover, the idea of that was really cool, executed very poorly, but could have been done well.
Yeah, you're probably right. Like I think we talked about this previously too. I remember enjoying the show. I don't remember fuck all about it, so it probably wasn't really that good. Um, so yeah, it probably wasn't actually good.
Well, on that note, probably since we have exhausted our conversation on the boys, we should probably bring this to an end.
I don't know. Is there anything else of interest that happened this week we should talk about?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Well, as usual, we're going to leave you with a Fat Guy Pro Tip, my friends. So just remember, just because you fit in it doesn't mean it fits. Have a great night, folks.
Yeah, I'll take care.